Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jack Farmer and the phenomenal Flobo representing AJ Styles. Proud of his boy over at Crown School this weekend. It's time for Draped in Gold, everybody. And boy, do we got a good one cooking up for you right now.
Hot diggity.
Hot diggity dog. Flobo, Boyce, how you feeling? Breaking out the phenomenal gloves.
Oh, yeah. Remember talking about Preserve the Moment? We bought this at Mania Arlington. And I was like, I'll never wear these, but I have these have appeared at 4 different episodes of Draped, so money well spent. But I am excited, man. Look at this.
Those absolutely are the kind of things you get at the show, and then you're like, well, what do I do with them now? But they're cool. You know, I always felt like AJ Styles didn't get enough credit for sort of making this whole thing like popular, because then athletes started doing it. I felt like after that.
Oh, yeah.
He was like the first one, and then like every football team had it, and like other people started doing it, and he doesn't get the credit for being kind of the pioneer of that look.
Well, it's hard for people to support you if you have farmer strength, but I will say you're right. It is pretty cool, you know.
As someone who has farmer strength himself, I totally know what you're saying.
No, you don't.
But it does look good. They are cool gloves though. Big week of wrestling. Lots of stuff to chat about. I want to shout out everyone who's joining us here. Wheel 5 Stud, Danny C, Mike Wexler. Thank you guys so much for coming through in the chat. If you are watching or listening, like, comment, share, subscribe, 5-star review. Even if you're one of the lurkers, at least leave a comment on the video while you're here. Please. And make sure to follow the YouTube, because we're always putting up, Flobo's always putting up little clips and fun things like that. I do absolutely nothing. I am absolutely invested.
You're the talent, man. I
am nothing on this program. You are the Michael Cole carrying us through everything. I am the Pat McAfee who just kind of yells and gets excited about things.
Oh, yeah. He's a big son of a bitch.
That's all I do. That's all I do. That's all I got. We do got a quick question from Wheel 5 Stud. We got some other things to get into, but Wheel 5 Stud, obviously a big NXT fan. I believe that's Wheel 5 Stud's favorite show of the week. Asks, I wonder your guys' thoughts on the releases that we got a couple days ago. Flobo, I know we've chatted offline about these, but any thoughts, any takeaways, any opinions, things like that?
Well, let's talk about this in mass. So who is officially gone that we haven't seen gone before? Is that making sense? Like,
yeah. As far as like big TV presences, it was Wesley,
right?
Stevie Turner. So was obviously a big part of like Evolution.
So these are people that have been like released for the first time, which sounds terrible. These people have been released for the first time. So I would say the one thing that struck me was that I am not sure if it's part of a strategy. I am not sure if this is like this happenstance of this, that we're not getting the big Black Fridays anymore after the holiday tour or after Mania. It's you get a couple here and there when it happens. Like for me, the last week, the biggest release was Gentala. I'm not a huge Evolve watcher anymore. I kind of watch when I can, but seeing that show and seeing Kelly Armstrong, and seeing Gentala, I was like, this is going to be the future of what they're looking for. And I think she had a unique look. So when she was released, I was like, what's going on? But I think the bigger story here is that you can get released any given Sunday now. So it may be something where we might have weekly transaction reports on Draped in Gold.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate when someone loses their job. Always, especially one with the WWE, where it's a dream job for many people. I think there's a lot of talented people that got let go. I think that it's hard because so many of them are people that were on those developmental deals. Something that I was chatting with you about is like the WWE ID program and the Evolve program. It makes me wonder after these releases what exactly their goal was or what their hope was with these programs and with these shows, because it felt like a lot of people that got let go were exactly what you would want from these programs and from these shows. And so to see them get cut, it was kind of a head scratcher, because I was thinking, well, if they're not what you were trying to do, what exactly is the point of this program?
Right.
And so because I think just about everyone who was originally signed to WWID has now been released outside of maybe one or two.
Yeah, it does seem like that ID program was like in between the NIL and some of those of the indie stars. Like Kylie Ray obviously could not compete because she is
Yeah.
so that's a little bit different. But you're right. It's like, okay, maybe it's kind of like an inverse engineering thing of let's have a WWE. We can't change the indies, we can't create the indies. Let's have a WWE presence in the independent scene and give people a thing to work towards. But with not any having defenses with the titles, not having any kind of clear advancement with the program. I guess in theory, you could have been called to NXT or Evolve, but it wasn't really clear as to how that worked. It is kind of fuzzy top to bottom of what the WWE ID program is supposed to be. Is it just marking your territory in smaller rooms? Is it just telling young talent, keep at it, bucko, youngster, we're looking at you? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. I guess the other big one that got a lot of chatter on social media was Ridge Holland, his contract not being renewed. And the reason there was a lot of chatter there is because he's currently injured.
Correct.
While working on, as they say, another show that wasn't even part of what he was originally, I guess, scheduled or contracted to do, but was asked to do by WWE. I don't know the legalities and adjustments of that, but that's just what the internet has been kind of talking about there. And I think it's that classic that I've seen in the arguments with this, and Flobo, I'll get your point too. The two sides, the how dare you release a guy while he's hurt doing what you asked him to do, as well as other people saying, listen, his contract expired. This is the way it is. It's black and white. I think it's both worlds. I think that yes, legally, it's absolutely okay for TKO to say your contract is expired and we're not renewing it, but it is a little crummy and lame of them to do that to somebody at the same time. Both things in this case, I think, can be true. Do you have a thought on that one?
I think I'm not sure. I'm not a legal person. I'm not in the archives at Stanford, but I believe because the injury happened while he was under contract, WWE will take care of it. So if that it's okay, and that's a precedent, that's okay. Because you don't want anyone to be injured or pregnant or with child and be like, sorry, no more money's coming your way. You're out of a job. That said, though, yeah, you don't want to lose your job. Rich Holland was a special case because he was involved in instances where there were injuries caused by him. So I know a lot of people on the internet are not as understanding of that, but it is kind of rough when you are on the shelf and someone goes, we don't need you no more. Like when anyone who's ever had a job and someone goes, oh, we'll call you, and then they go, hey, look, we're going a different direction, that has to hurt.
Yeah. And again, something I always lament and something I always get crabby at is people on social media seem to always want to talk about business smarts in pro wrestling and how, oh, this company does what's great for business. This is the right way to run a business. And this other company is not doing it in the right way or whatever. If you want a company to do well as a business, this is what good businesses do. They get rid of people when they can't get value out of them. But it's also what's crummy about good business. And so I always say, if you can't be happy or unhappy about this move and then also be that person that says it's a business, they got to be profitable, they're making money, and only care about making money at the same time, because those two things do not go together.
Well, yeah, I think wrestling fans are very, very much in this weird hybrid place where we think we know what we're talking about and we want to be objective as possible. But you release my guy, you fumbled them. And it's like, well, you're not the general manager. If you had your own wrestling promotion, you'd probably do the same thing. But I can tell you, anyone who's played GM mode on 2K or Football Manager or even FIFA or those games know that there's people you like, people you can rely on. There's people that are great but injury prone. There's people that don't really produce to your potential, and you have to make those moves to freshen the product. We can always talk about how less people are coming to shows and the financial things and all about that, but at the end of the day, people buy tickets to see the acts. If the acts are not working, you have to make moves.
Absolutely. So as we move on, speaking of making moves, especially due to injury, Seth Rollins has been injured, it seems, after his match at Crown Jewel with Cody Rhodes. Got the win. One of the bigger wins for Seth Rollins, which is saying something because he's had some pretty big wins in his career. This, of course, led to, he beat Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in the heist of the century. That was a pretty big one.
All right, you win this round. I should have had a higher limit. Name 2. Here you go. Damn. Name 12.
Name 37 of his best matches.
But you can't do it, Jack.
So Seth Rollins, he's injured. This, of course, led to Monday night where Seth Rollins was feeling good about himself. He was feeling himself. He was proud of the vision. He was proud of himself. It was a great day. And then Braun Breaker speared him and then basically strong-armed the rest of the vision into following him now going forward. I've seen a lot of different takes on this one, Flobo. I want to know what your take is on how they handled this situation.
I would have died if Bronson retook his shoes, but he didn't. He didn't.
My God!
He didn't do it.
Oh my God! What a missed opportunity!
Look at that. But I would say this, man. I was saying for months the vision was not working for me because I felt like it was two halves working together. It was Seth and then Seth and Becky, and then it was Braun and Paul Heyman. I believe Paul Heyman aligns himself with people who aren't finished products. So this split ultimately can work because I don't know what the vision is about. But then I also say, of course, get well soon, Seth Rollins, if the injury is legitimate, because I know I've heard things from dislocations to rotator cuffs things. I'm not really sure. But that said, what a way to end that. It was kind of like what a deflating way. You're telling me this was dominating Raw for months. If you were a CM Punk fan or an LA Knight fan or a Jey Uso fan, your guy got beat up week in and week out, and now it's over? And then you're supposed to forget about this, like John Cena's heel turn? Man, what a bummer.
It really is a bummer for the fans. I mean, it's no one's fault, obviously. I'm not going to get mad that someone got hurt, doing something incredible and entertaining me. But yeah, you're right. It is like, especially if we've been watching the CM Punk Seth Rollins rivalry for a year almost.
It's great. Leave it alone.
It's been going on and on and on. And that's kind of the theme of wrestling these days, is this rivalries that just do not end. They just keep going. And this one is that's a bummer. It is a bummer that now it's going to end kind of just like, okay, I guess we're moving on to whatever the next thing is. That said, I think this was the right call. If this is the case, if Seth Rollins is going to be away for a while, I think you pivot. I think we all knew that Braun Breaker was going to be the guy at some point. We were already talking.
We did?
People have been talking about him stabbing Seth Rollins in the back for a very long time already. And so I don't think we need to drag out this whole program for another 9 months because everything else is already drug out. And the stories in WWE right now of a faction where there's tension and someone may turn on someone else is basically what we've had in multiples for 5 years now. We've had multiple stables going through the same, oh my God, there's tension in this stable. Is this guy going to turn on this other guy? We're over it. Like, I don't think I need to see 9 months of build.
Wait, hold on. You can't be over it. That's what it is. It's a comic book that always results in a fight. You can't be, we're best friends forever, because you end up with the New Day, and Jack Farmer hates those people too.
Actually, the New Day they're my favorite, some of my favorite stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I get that they can't be friends forever, but we already have the bloodline essentially still going, still doing that. I can't trust you. We can't trust each other. We've got Judgment Day, which has been doing the we can't trust each other thing for so long. I don't even remember why they don't trust each other anymore. It just seems like every single time there's some kind of pairing, we're doing the can I trust the person I'm with? And I don't need to see that teased and alluded to and making me think about it for the next 9 months. I get it. I get where this is going. Let's just get to the next last line of the story, as I like to say.
Riddle me this, Batman/pop quiz hot shot. Now the new vision is here. Who is left on the roster? Who better to get it? Who is left on the roster for them to combat? Because I am tired of seeing LA Knight get his ass kicked every Monday.
Well, that's a different story. I mean, it has nothing to do with whether or not Seth Rollins is there, because you're right. I think we've seen variations of the Usos versus the Vision with LA Knight and Seth Rollins jumping in and out for way too long already as well. Again, I think that WWE has been really hot, but they're definitely starting to rest on their laurels a little bit, I think.
Wow.
I think They're dragging things out. I think that maybe it's a situation where they got so many PLEs they got to hit that they can't finish these stories, because if they do, they'll burn through every single story they have very quickly. But I'm overseeing Braun versus Usos and LA Knight and CM Punk. This thing has just been going on and on forever. I get why CM Punk won the championship shot, but I also feel like, guys, LA Knight needs to be the guy. You need to give him an opportunity at some point, because this is the goodwill that people have for him is starting to fade. And he's still super popular. Don't get me wrong, but those chants and LA Knights are not what they were 2 years ago. And of course, why would they be? He always has the rug pulled out from under him. So I
would agree with you
about that.
I would agree with you on LA Knight, and I say this because we're coming. I'm jumping ahead here, but we're coming off of Bound for Glory, which is TNA's biggest event of the year. It's a WrestleMania. It's a Starrcade. Mike Santana. It was very much, or is very much, like LA Knight, like a man of the people. And a couple of months ago, or a month ago, on this very show, I told referee Jimmy Corderas, I said, when someone is an underdog and they're scrappy and they got the organic support and they're the people's champ, the last thing you want to do is give them the championship, because we get bored at all. We saw it with DDP back in the day. We saw it with Kofi Kingston. So I worry maybe LA Knight needs a little bit of refreshing up before he makes his run for the title. I'm okay with that if that is the case. But if you're going to keep him as it is right now, then I'm with you 100%. Give the man a strap.
I would say, I don't think people are turning on Kofi Kingston. I mean, Brock Lesnar turned on Kofi Kingston pretty hard.
I mean, I was with Kofi forever, but there were some people saying he's the most beatable champion and blah, blah, blah. And
Cain Velasquez turned on him pretty quick.
Don't get me started. Yeah, pro wrestler Cain Velasquez with one match was a dark time. I was in the stands that night, man.
That was a bad. I remember.
You know what the worst part? I'm sorry, that's not the point. But you know what the worst part is about the whole Kofi Kingston thing? Well, besides the fact that it ended abruptly, besides the fact that Fox didn't know who Kofi Kingston was and got destroyed in 8 seconds, besides the fact that Kofi rolled out the ring just to set up this whole angle for a Saudi Arabia pay-per-view between Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar, it was a fact Kofi didn't get his slowly rise to his feet. Thank you, Kofi. Kofi got beat, rolled to the outside, lights came up, drive home safe. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Terrible.
That's a really good point. That's a very good point. Not even the next week or the next show or anything, he didn't get one of those, like, got to come out and have his moment or whatever. It's kind of like, bloop.
Done and done.
Which is, it was a different time, but it was also
different time.
It's just crazy how time flies. Times.
Was that 19? That's 2019.
Jeez, yeah, because we were still at AfterBuzz when that happened. I watched it on. I think I was watching on After. I think I covered that show. I can't remember.
I remember because I was like, "Oh man, this SmackDown set is awesome," and then the COVID hit and disappeared. I was like, "Oh."
It was. I remember that set was so good. I was like, "What are they going to do for pay-per-views? Because this is too good. Like your pay-per-view is going to look like a downgrade if it doesn't look like this." But now you're right, and we've never gotten great. Outside of WrestleManias, obviously, but
yeah, like, the new LED screen, I guess, is higher resolution, but it does feel like here you go, here's a screen.
I mean, who cares how high it's going to be limited by whatever my screen at home is, anyways.
Right, my phone on the toilet can only do so much. Wow, it's better.
You know what? And that's another thing why I hate people who care about, like, oh, it's all about the businesses. I know there's people like, well, Jack, they're able to fit in more seats, which makes their profitability margins much higher by having less. I don't care.
I don't care, man. I'm with you.
Give me a big, awesome set that looks cool that I'm psyched to see.
Give me overturned taxis when you're in New York. Give me Blacklash blades that's flying to the air.
Yes. Give me cool stuff. I don't care that you sold 15 extra tickets, which go for $30,000 a piece. So I guess I get it.
I use a credit card. It's fine. But I'm with you.
Yeah. Give me a cool set, Triple H. I know you can.
He's listening to this. Are you serious?
Are you kidding? He's one of our 15 viewers.
Oh, that's true. That is tragic. Don't tell me the actual number, man. You got to pretend like we.
I'm actually pretty confident Danny C is actually just Triple H's burner account.
That would be kind of funny. You're like, I like Scar.
Time to play the ska. So in other news, and I do want to talk about TNA's Bound for Glory because that was a incredible show. But I want to talk. I still want to cover a little bit of Crown Jewel. John Cena beats AJ Styles.
Wow. You got it right, by the way. Props.
What was that?
You got it right. I thought Cena was going to win, but you said AJ Styles. I thought AJ Styles was going to win. You said Cena. So
yeah, because duh. But that makes me wonder, Flobo. You hate lists, so I'm gonna ask.
Don't ask me for a list.
It's hypothetical. You don't have to make it. You don't have to make the whole list. But I'm gonna say John Cena's greatest rivals is AJ Styles top 4.
Ooh, that's actually a good one. John Cena's top rivalries. You just mean like, okay, when you saying my personal, or you saying in general?
In general, like if you had to go on ESPN and argue this list, you probably got Edge. You probably got
it's Edge, Orton, and Lesnar.
So who would go number 4?
Yeah, that could be JBL. I'll put JBL in there. The whole parking lot brawl is pretty heavy, and then I still got the championship. So I'll put AJ at 5, only because I think people forget that when JBL was as bad as evil as he was, Cena was like Cena's a hero. So
yeah, no, that's true. What about Batista?
Those were fun, but the thing about that rivalry, they kind of delayed it for years, and then they had that match at SummerSlam 08, and then Cena tried to go for the top rope. He got caught in the power bomb, and it was like, oh. So yeah, it's fun, but I don't think their rivalry was as big as those other ones.
Triple H wants to know about Carlito. Danny C.
Hey, Triple H, you were there, you know? No, I was kidding. No, Edge is definitely in there. I don't like Edge's whole thing, but Edge has to be the rival. Orton and Cena had 21 pay-per-views together, 22 pay-per-views together, and then Lesnar is what made him, Cena, go from guy you hated to guy you want to cheer for back when the AA was the FU. So
I do think I think JBL is higher on the list than a lot of people because I think JBL gets a little forgotten. Just I think because Orton's still going, Edge is still going.
I had to check myself because I'm like, no, JBL was the man. And I go, no, he's not really talked about like everyone else, but you know, everyone gives Edge all the credit for holding down SmackDown and being thing, but like JBL for years was SmackDown, and he had this character where it was, he was a Texan, but he conquered Wall Street. It was very J.R. Ewing. I mean, it really was a character that was rooted in attitude, but really flourished in ruthless aggression. Like, I don't know, man. I think JBL needs his flowers.
Yeah, I think JBL I always forget about because if I'm honest, I was kind of burned out on wrestling at the time, so I didn't feel as engaged. But he was probably one of the most fun villains. That was like not just a silly villain. He was silly, but like who wasn't just like a stupid low level villain. He was like one of the most fun villains to watch and to see what he did and his character. He was fantastic. JBL
was one of the better examples. I'll tell anyone now if you want to know how to be a heel, and it's why it's important, is because JBL's character did not change, but he was able to be as evil as throwing Eddie Guerrero out in the Rio Grande, but as funny as getting a pie in the face, and didn't have to waver. That is a hard thing. You go to an independent show now, everybody wants to scowl, everyone wants to hit people hard. That's okay, but you need someone to make you go, this guy just really rubs me the wrong way, man. Like, and that's what JBL was. No, he's fantastic. Right. And him coming out with the what do they call it? The big halo thing with the cowboy hat on top is one of my absolute favorite moments in all of pro wrestling. Rumors are that actually before last of all, who's your number one John Cena rival? Just if you had to call it, who do you think is the one? It's Orton. Like, I really love the AJ stuff because I think AJ came in with a fresh energy, and Cena really picked up his work rate, which is a term I heard about means something. But if you had to make a statue, it should be Orton. Orton should have dunked him to the Hall of Fame. Orton and Cena basically carry ruthless aggression on their back, you know?
Yeah, I'll go with that. I agree with that. Shows how good Cena is, by the way, that he has this many people. Like, dang, this could be like he's the number one rivalry to probably more people than anyone in the modern like post.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, because it gets weird when like Hulk Hogan, he was such a big character that, of course, everyone who faced him, like, it was their biggest rivalry,
Well, you look at Cena and everyone says, hey, look, you talk about your character guy, Flobo, but Cena didn't really have a character. He's never gave up. And I was like, yes, his character was kind of generic, but because of that, his roles gallery had to really move the story. So if you think about all the long-term storylines he had, it's the most colorful. You could be as cerebral as Randy Orton or as brutish as Brock Lesnar. Cena was Batman. He had like these guys that were just complimented him so well.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And now we talk about the Rogues Gallery. It looks like his next Rogue is going to be Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. That's the rumors, anyways, at Survivor Series. What are your thoughts on that? I'm a little, I don't want to see Cena lose again, especially what looks like it's going to be one match before his last match.
Yeah.
I also can't see him being the Intercontinental Champion either. Thoughts on this one? Clearly good for Dom.
Yeah, I do think that it's going to be a matchup that they're going to burn in San Diego because Dominic's Little Mysterio's whole thing in San Diego. You can't have matches with no stakes, but you really can't put him in title matches all the time. I know there's some people that want him to be the never seen 18. I get that. I don't really want to use that as Survivor Series if you're trying to bring back the whole War Games thing. So I like the match. I think it makes sense. It really helps to temper the whole discussion of who should be the last couple opponents because Mysterio's kind of in this weird position where he's still young, but he's also kind of made it on his own. So it definitely will sell tickets. I think it works. I'm not sure if that's the case. Will be my choice. You know what I mean? I told you last week, Javon Evans, baby, but I'm okay with it.
We'll talk about Javon Evans because we got an interesting story about him in a little bit. That's a tease, ladies and gentlemen. This is, again, I feel like there's so much stuff with this final run of John Cena that I keep thinking if we had more time, I would love it. But because of where we're at, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I love the idea of Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena because Dominic Mysterio, I think, has the potential to be a superstar for the next, however, I don't remember how old he is, but until he's like 45 or something. He's got everything you want because also what he does, he doesn't need him to be super youthful too. Like if he's older, he'll still be just as good at what he's doing. 28. So yeah, I mean, so him having a match with Cena, I think is great because it's also one of those things where when he is 48 or whatever, and they're showing his career, like, oh my goodness, remember he faced John Cena so long ago? That's crazy.
Yeah. Hold on. So Dominic Mysterio's the same age as Tyler Bate?
Brain exploded. That is crazy. Wow. It also shows just how long both of them have been around too.
Yeah. Old men.
So I don't know. I love it. I like the idea of it, but man, if he's got one more or two more, I don't know how many he has left.
4 more appearances left. I'm not sure how many of those will be matches. So he has 2 Raws, Survivor Series, and then the Saturday Night's Main Event in December. The question is Roman Reigns in that situation? He's the only person I can think of that's on the roster that's big enough that you could put in the poster and be like, John Cena's last match. Because as much as I like Javon Evans, if he comes out on Saturday Night's Main Event, it's like, who's this guy?
Yeah. It's the rumors Gunther is the last one. The rumors Gunther, and again, there's certain things I love about it, but if it's the last one, I mean, I feel like the last one should be Randy Orton. Well, the last one should be The Rock, but I don't think that's going to happen.
The Rock can't move, man. I think that's why he pulled out last year.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be him. I think it should be The Rock. If it can't be The Rock, it should be Orton.
That happened already.
I don't care. It's the last time. Just let him have one time. I don't know. Or Cody. I don't know. Maybe have him get one more shot at the championship.
Wait, not the one that's vacant or potentially vacant? You're going to go after the WWE title again? Okay. Path of worst resistance over here.
Yeah, I think if you want to do it, you got to go if you're going to do it, you got to do it all the way. And I think that maybe even having him beat Cody and going out with one more championship reign.
But the world heavyweight title is potentially vacant. What do you mean all the way? That's the way. The
WWE championship's the real top.
Whoa, hot take. Hot take.
Is it a hot take?
I've been told they're both equally important.
By who?
I don't know. Triple H, Danny
By,
C.
by Danny C in the chat.
There you go, your point.
Well, so Danny C says, I think the last one should be Roman Reigns. If it's Roman Reigns, then Danny C is Triple H confirmed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You showed your hand, game. Man. So you mentioned we're talking about future stars and stuff, and you did mention Javon Evans earlier. Brian Alvarez on his show had a bit of a rant where he was upset, and I don't have the exact quote in front of me because I'm not prepared. He was saying that he's basically upset that everyone's talking about how Javon Evans and Leon Slater are the future of pro wrestling, and he was pounding the table saying, no, they should be the present. They should be right now. Why are we waiting 5 years for guys that we know are the guys? Why do we have to go through this long process? If they're ready, they're ready. Put them out there. I want to know your thoughts because Javon Evans is 21, I think.
Yeah, he just turned 21 this year too. They say in baseball, it's age 21 season.
Yeah. So if he was to wait 5 years, he'd still be one of the, like, if he won the world championship in 5 years, he'd still be one of the youngest world champions of all time. I don't know who I don't remember. It's like 24, I think is.
Yeah. It's Orton.
Orton. So like, even if he waited till 26, though, he'd still be in that youngest category.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you say? Like, what do you say about this? Should they be presented now? Is it Javon's time right now? Or if you had the books, would you give him a few years before putting him in that spotlight?
If you would ask me this a year ago, I would say, yeah, you got to wait. But I don't anymore. And shout out to Raj Giri, somebody I've never interacted with ever in professional wrestling. Never like to tweet, never talked to the guy ever. He had a very short-sighted tweet this week about Javon. And that was, he has all the tools, but doesn't know how to work a microphone. And I go, neither did Jeff Hardy. And I look at Javon Evans, and he was born in 2004.
That's disgusting.
In 2004, I was wearing a big T-shirt and a fake chain, talking about Bubba Sparks is the best. That's how old I am. Ugly. And I go, this is the Gen Alpha hero. This is somebody that looks a certain way, can talk to that generation. I always say this: wrestling is made for people between the ages of 11 and 19. This could be your guy to lead you to a new era. Now, Leon Slater is not a WWE talent. He's in TNA. TNA has different objectives, but same thing applies. Here is someone who's defining with body control, expressing the art form differently, and is young. And let's call it, doesn't look like the traditional wrestling build. Use them. And if they burn out, you have enough, sorry to say, you have enough people waiting in the wings. But what's the point of waiting? What's the point of having someone getting reactions? You had the whole Bound for Glory saying the boy Bouncy and their TNA fans. Like, do it now, full tilt.
I agree with you completely. And I did look it up. It looks like if Javon Evans won the world title in 5 years, he'd be 26. That would put him in the top 5 category. Randy Orton 24, Brock Lesnar 25, and then The Rock, Undertaker, and Yokozuna all 26. So
look at that producing work.
He does have time, but as I just said with Braun Breaker, like, why are we waiting? Like, why? Like, I don't understand the reason why you have a star, but you're just not going to put them there just because, like, what other world does that happen? If this was Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're not like, well, Tom Holland's still pretty young, so we probably shouldn't put him in a big roll right now. What are you talking about? He's a star. Put him in. And I mean, he's bulked up. I agree with you on his mic skills. I think the reason he may not sound good on the microphone to a lot of people is because he's speaking to a younger generation, and he's speaking in a way that fits that younger generation. And I think that will give him a connection that no other wrestling superstar today will be able to touch in the next 5 years. I think that the Jeff Hardy comparison is really good. I think the ceiling for Javon Evans is much higher. I don't see anything on the measurables that would make me think that he shouldn't be moved right now and used right now in a big spot. There's literally nothing. And that is coming from someone who, as I've talked about with you before, I was not on board with Javon Evans right away when I first saw him. I was not someone who was just like, oh yeah, I'm picking him to be the next superstar right away. But
Right.
he forced my hand. Like, he's just so good in every way. And yeah, I think he's the now. I think you could put him on the main roster. I think you could put him in big time situations. I think he'll be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like to take from traditional sports, and you're a football guy, but it's kind of like when old man Drew Bledsoe was still with the Patriots, and it was like, hey man, Tom Brady's pretty good, but Drew's the guy, and there may be a bit of a roster crunch now that you can wrestle well into your 40s about not trying someone who's new and say he's too young, he's too young, he's too young. And yes, you can go to the main roster and sink. We get that. Like, that's a risk everyone takes, or be stuck in catering. But when someone, and again, going to TNA and getting the reaction he does, and everyone's getting his theme song, and everyone's getting his moves, you got to put that on a biggest stage as possible. So again, if I had the book, I would have him face John Cena at least one of those matches to show the world their true passing of the torch. Because frankly, in wrestling, you pass the torch many times when you're on your way out. But I do think that he should give it an opportunity.
By the way, the Big Show won the WCW championship at 23 years old. So
does that count?
I'm going to say no, because we're talking about the WWE championship.
I mean, because they merged. Remember, they had the whole Chris Jericho Unforgiven.
They did. And I'm a WCW guy, but also if you were to be like, well, someone won the AWA championship at 21, I'd be like, eh.
You know, AWA hater.
You know, I'm just, because I'm trying to like take myself out of it and take like my personal experience with it, and just realizing over time we'll all eventually just be like, yeah, that was just, WCW will eventually become, you know, WCCW or whatever the Texas one was.
Fair enough.
You know, it eventually just become one of those territories that eventually got eaten up, and we'll be like, oh yeah, okay, it doesn't really count though. It hurts my heart to say that, but that's just the reality of
Glacier still counts to us.
Time. So yeah, everyone in the chat, everyone in the comments section, let us know, is it time for Javon Evans right now? Leon Slater as well. I'm going to be honest, I am not able to stay up to date as much on TNA as I'd like, so I can't speak specifically to Leon Slater, but everything I've seen about him is incredible. Everything that he does is awesome. So
I'm with you too, man. Like I am not the biggest TNA, just because of the TV thing. Let's be real. Like,
yeah,
the access to TNA shows is not the most challenging. I think New Japan's harder, but it's up there, and hopefully that changes with the new TV deal, which has been rumored. But again, I saw Leon Slater live for the first time this year at Rebellion, and definitely walked away being like, that guy was memorable. Like, what's he about? And he's English, so his accent's like very much like cool. It's like, oh, okay, he does that and talks like that. Pretty sick.
Yeah, he's like a lot of people. I found out of him for the first time when I first saw that move he does that was shared on the internet, that Swanton 450, where he just freezes in the air for a moment somehow. Just incredible to see. But also, he's someone that he also sounds comfortable on the microphone. I don't think the future of wrestling, even though I love LA Knight, I don't think the future of promos is the let me talk to you. I think it's going to be people talking more like how people talk, because that's that generation coming up. I don't think that generation is into the people who are loud and verbose like that. I think they're into the people who are more just going to talk to you like Javon Evans does.
You say, yeah, is verbose? Yeah. Man. Very verbose. He talks way too much.
Well, no, maybe not verbose is the right word, but you know what I mean? Like that,
down, yeah.
like the way The Rock does promos, I think would be considered cheesy to a younger audience. And I think that we actually kind of saw that a little bit when he came back for a while. I think there's a level of like, ugh, this is try hard or corny.
This is definitely showing your nephew like the hip hop you grew up with. You're like, no, see, the song was called Oh Boy, and Oh Boy was in the theme. It was in the song too. Cameron's a genius, and you're like, yeah, whatever, pops. No, but because it was like, oh boy, you know what I mean? I get it.
This is before they had auto tune. This is back when the lyrics meant something. Yeah,
soul beats were a thing.
It is funny, like, yeah, you like when you show old wrestling to people who didn't watch it before, there is this part of you, like when you do let like someone listens to an old song that you recommend, and you can suddenly hear the age in the
Oh
song. It's like,
yeah.
oh yeah, this song does sound really old, doesn't it?
Dude, wrestling's like that. Like I grew up in wrestling in '93, and my buddy, who's like 5 years older than me, he loves the late '80s stuff, and I just can't watch. I can, but it's definitely like I have to study it. I can't be like, oh, let's flip on WrestleMania 4 for funsies. I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's what's funny is when you watch old wrestling. Sorry to go down this rabbit hole, but now I notice, especially if you go back to like the Attitude Era, it's so smoky in those buildings.
Yeah,
And
the
there's this like
pyro.
there's like this haze on over everything because there's so much smoke. I don't know if they just ventilate better or if they just have better pyro that doesn't make smoke anymore, or if it's the cameras, or whatever. But everything's got this weird smoky haze to it. If you go back to like the Attitude Era and
Pyro and SDTVs, man. That's all we had.
But Danny C says, but my promos are classic. I mean, I think Triple H promos never.
I'm the game.
I am the game. We talked a bit about TNA and Leon Slater, so let's talk about Bound for Glory, the biggest show of the year for TNA. The numbers, from what I saw, were great. I see some people were like arguing about how accurate the numbers are, and this to me is always just a stupid argument, whether they're accurate or not. Who cares? But the venue I thought looked great, sounded great. A lot of big moments. What was your takeaways from Bound for Glory? And of course, what was your takeaways from that big Mike Santana championship win?
I was a little worried going into it. I'm not saying that Lowell isn't a wrestling hotbed, but I thought for the biggest show of the year, being in Lowell could have been a miss, and it wasn't. It was like they're their biggest indoor crowd of all time. I think like Chris Bay came out and said over 7,000. So that's pretty cool. That the fact that I was wrong, Chris Bay is doing better, and the fact that people came out and packed the house, and some of the stuff that we worried about the cross pollination of NXT and TNA is working out. Like I said, I was really taken aback when the TNA crowd with the boys bouncy. Like oh wow, they really love Javon Evans. But let's talk about that main event, man. Trick Williams has done so much, and I think about this all the time because Carmelo Hayes was called up to the main roster. Trick Williams was not, and on theory, on paper, I would assume Carmelo's making more money, but Trick Willie has way more cash doing it this way. It felt like a Bound for Glory match of yesteryear. The match was fantastic. I have my reservations with blue collar, like just go get him, champ kind of things, but forget that for later. That night, Mike Santana was the man. That's what you wanted to do. You crowned a new star, had the family in there. Felt like it was awesome, man. Set everyone home happy.
I thought that was a great main event. I thought it was perfect. I've got no notes on it. Santana, you got to give him so much credit. Every time someone takes a gamble on themselves and makes a move from where they, I don't know what his situation was in AEW. I'm not going to pretend I know, but outside looking in, it looks like you've got probably a great contract, probably anything you could want financially from your career. And going to TNA, though they're putting on good shows, not exactly a place you go if you want financial stability or at least big money from being a pro wrestler. Again, I don't know the numbers. Maybe he is getting big money. I mean, I don't know. But that's just the outsider looking in perspective. And to see him do so well, it's very possible they could have said, cool, we're going to throw you in a random tag team. And because you're a tag team guy. And now you're just going to kind of be muddled up in doing the same stuff you were doing in AEW, but to a smaller audience. But he proved everything that he said about himself was right. And not just because he got the win, but I think the way he did it and the way he's created the character that he is and the persona he is, he just feels like someone you want to get behind. He feels like someone you want to root for. And I think Trick Williams, though I haven't personally liked the fact that he's had his time divided with TNA, I think he's grown so much as a performer during this time. I think he was exactly what Santana needed to beat in this situation. And I think that it just executed on all levels. I thought this was perfectly done.
Yeah, I feel like I'm jumping around here, but to your point, Trick Williams does feel like final boss energy when needs to. And he kind of was. I mean, yeah, you could argue this is really more the story of taking back the TNA title back home to TNA, but you need the right person to do that. And Mike Santana was that guy. But even on Tuesday's promo or Tuesday's backstage pre-recorded segment with Ricky Saints, I was like, wow, this guy really sounds like a dude that can be a real life adversary, and that's something
Mhm.
that you don't get. And when I say what's a good promo, it could be catchphrases, it could be insults. That's all good. It could be using your potty mouths. But at the end of the day, it's about, do I believe what you're saying? And I'm telling you,
Right.
on Tuesday, I believe what he was saying. As Trick Willie walked to the ring at Bound for Glory, I believe everything he was doing in the ring. And that, you can't teach that. That comes with
Yeah.
reps, that comes with time, that comes with being sure what you can do.
And for Trick Williams, to what you were saying about JBL earlier, he could not change a single thing about how he handles himself and what he does and what he says. And he can go from being very serious, dangerous bad guy to silly, goofy bad guy to silly, goofy good guy to very serious, very dangerous good guy. He can go anywhere on that spectrum and not change a single thing about himself. And that is such a valuable talent to have. And I guess it shows true command over your character.
Oh, absolutely. And I do think the next generation of people will be looking at that, because I know we have our references. Like, I'm here like giving flowers to JBL, but I do think, like, to your point, that every 10 years, every 15 years, wrestling teams kind of dated to the next generation. Trick Williams found a way to make it happen. And he didn't have to be, no offense, he didn't have to be an archetype character. He didn't have to be a G.I. Bro. He didn't have to be a Santino. Trick Williams really was just a guy. and I remember hating him just being a guy. And over time, built by brick, built this character where it was like, okay, yeah, I believe him. Let's talk about it.
I do like to pat myself on the back because
you do that.
I do feel like I called that Trick Williams was going to be a star before a lot of other people were.
Yeah. But you missed Javon Evans, you jerk.
I did miss Javon Evans. I mean, look, when I miss, I miss. I'll say it. But
Jack always misses.
But no, Trick Williams, like I've said before, I saw him in that haunted house match or whatever, and you could tell, like, he gets it. He gets what his role is when he's out there, and he knows how to execute it. And
you just get to a haunted house match, like off the cuff, like the haunted. Oh, that would be the Mountain Dew lights out. No, that was LA Night. I'm talking about the haunted house match.
Flobo, we are so close to being able to go back to the pandemic era and rewatch and be like, what the hell was this? Like, we're like this close to being able to rewatch it and be like, oh my God, that's right.
Oh man, like the Bailey doing the permanent nobody in the crowd, but so yelling at Michael Cole.
Dude, the Stone Cold 316 day lives in my brain as like a haunted memory of him coming out there. Like, give me a hell yeah. I said, give me a hell.
But people also forget the Triple H 25th anniversary when Vince came out. I was like, what the hell is this? Nobody in the crowd. Oh man, add that to the queue. I gotta watch that again,
dude. That is, like, yeah, we're very close to being to the point where we can start going back and like not having PTSD rewatching. Actually, maybe I will, because there's some moments I was like, oh my God, I can't.
Yeah, Seth had a whole cult, and Buddy Murphy was trying to talk to Rey Mysterio's daughter. Like, it was,
that's right.
It's so weird. Austin Theory was a savant and became a dumbass with the way.
That's so. There was so much. The greatest wrestling match of all time happened.
Yeah, literally that.
The Miz was eaten by zombies.
Yeah, he changed the alliances. Oh, and the $1 Million Championship, Ted DiBiase, LA Knight got into a feud. It was just
Triple H reminded us of when he booked Rey Mysterio to lose an eye.
Yeah, Extreme Rules, the horror show. Was that what that was?
Remember Baron Corbin threw Rey Mysterio off the side of a building?
And we never saw him again.
God, that actually, it might be time to go back and watch some of these shows. I think that might be fun. But we talk about Trick Williams winning the TNA championship and how big it was for him. Konosuke Takeshita won the IWGP championship over in Japan. Obviously, it just happened, so can't really judge the reign just yet. But do you think this is a big deal for Takeshita? Do you think this will matter stateside, or is this going to be one of those things kind of like, you know, Mercedes Moné winning a championship from a company that people are unable to watch, which isn't a put down to Mercedes Moné. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? It did. It came off kind of crummy, and I didn't mean it that way. But you know what I mean?
You're right. It is early, but the way Zack Sabre Jr. walked around, like, oh, I got beat, does seem very transcontinental shift. And I know New Japan has struggled with maintaining a quality roster for whatever reason. Some say financial, some say creative. They have lost a lot of talent over the past two years. But Takeshita has been on TV in America enough that if I'm wanting to build a division around him, it'll be a sound choice because he's already an international star. So I think it's good. I mean, it'd be hard to tell, but I do think that's, if I was New Japan, it's the right call.
I really hope. I think it's all on AEW and how they are able to maximize it. I always remember as a Scott Norton fan and a late period WCW fan, he was once the IWGP champion, and WCW did like nothing about it. He came out like twice wearing the championship. Like, oh, by the way, he won this championship in Japan. Moving on.
Dang. Now, if only you won the Saskatchewan Hardcore International title.
Oh, that's, only one man can win that. And so I guess it is good. And I think AEW is kind of behind the 8 ball on this because they do have so many championships. And we'll talk about Wrestle Dream briefly in a little bit. But, Adam Page is having his second defense at Wrestle Dream, and it's against someone who already has a championship. And his previous defense against Kyle Fletcher was against someone who already had a championship. And so there's already, people have said it a lot already, it's not new news, a lot of championships on AEW TV. So it's going to be tough for them to make the IWGP championship seem like it's more important than all the other championships that we see in just about every segment on AEW. But I really hope they're able to take advantage of it. One, because we've seen how valuable it could be to someone like Trick Williams with becoming the TNA champion. But also, the IWGP championship is really one of the top championships on planet Earth. I mean, to your point, it's not the strongest New Japan Pro Wrestling roster in history right now, but that doesn't mean that the championship is suddenly not worth anything. And so if AEW is able to do something with this, I don't know what the plan is or how you would do it, but this could be a really big thing for someone like Takeshita.
It is a hard play because of, one, there's so many championships in AEW. Yeah, we know that. And two, we still don't know what ROH is in AEW universe. That still hasn't been established. But you're absolutely right. There is really a chance to present himself, Takeshita, as someone with merit. And if AEW may have to do this, pretty much kind of like promote somebody else and tell us why, again, it's important in this context to make sure that to undersell that. I think AEW's problem with storytelling outside of its own brand is that they understand that you should just know. Excalibur just tells you, yeah, this guy is the IWGP champ. And he goes, okay, but why is that? And I know some promotions do that too much, spoon feed you too much. And again, I look at WoW, I look at, they say, hey, look, this means this ring means this, and that means that. But this is what the E is good at. The E is really good at telling you what you should care about something and what you should not care and why it matters here. Just a little bit more of that. Maybe have Daniel Bryanson do that and then really talk about why that's important. And then maybe you can have something kind of storylines there. But I don't know, man. It's a hard sell.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I would love, personally, what I would love is for Daniel Bryanson to add to.
Leave me alone.
Hey, man, I was gonna say, like, man, you got it wrong. I was like, but you did kind of save it at the end.
No, I did not. I tripled down.
What I would love to see happen is obviously Takeshita has got this rivalry brewing with Okada. I want to see them have a match and just combine the titles. He's still the international champ or the unified champion, right?
Yeah, he's unified.
He's unified. I would love for them to just combine the titles as a way to get the unified championship off of TV.
I dare them to do that.
I mean,
I dare them. I'm not sure what that means for the Continental Classic because it's that time of the year now, right? But I dare them to do that.
You could do the Continental Classic, just don't have it be for a championship. Like, that's silly to me.
Is that a Dynamite ring? What would you do it for?
The winner gets a shot at the world title.
Oh, lame.
Why is it? I mean, that's what half of the things in pro wrestling are, is you get a title.
Yeah, but the whole Continental Classic was supposed to be different for a reason. It's like, we're going to give you some classic wrestling away from the main event picture. Was that the point?
But it sucked.
Damn. I didn't know.
Or it can be the winner gets a shot at the TNT championship then, or the TBS championship, or whatever. I don't know. But
I like that better. But just, I just like the fact that it sucked.
I mean, it's just because it's stupid that you're in the middle of the tournament losing matches, but you're not losing the champion. I don't know. The whole thing is just weird. It's a weird why would I go through that entire Continental Classic to win a championship when I could just challenge the champion the week before or the week after the tournament?
Well, yeah, this should not have been a championship, but you already established that, so I kind of wonder how they would run it back.
Well, that's how I would try to get out of it, is by doing a title for title thing and then have Takeshita win and then basically just discard the unified
You would be the
championship.
laziest wrestler if you were in WWE. You're like, Elimination Chamber, I'll just wait till Money in the Bank.
Yeah. That's exactly what I would do.
You're awful.
That's exactly 100% what I would do.
So lazy.
And then I'd win Money in the Bank, and I would pay the APA to beat up whoever the champion was, like the first day.
Or Judge JBL to rule in my favor to get the briefcase off of somebody else. Also the pandemic.
Yeah, I would just pay JBL to get me the championship, and then I'd pay him more to have him and Ron Simmons go beat someone up for me. And because listen, they're older, but I bet they'd still beat the brakes off a lot of people if they had to.
Hey, when you're that old, your fists are like rocks.
Yeah, they're just all callous.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my hope. I hope they just combine them, and that's my dream out of this.
By the way, off topic, have you seen that trailer for Sings of the Ring that came out this week?
No.
It's about like this wrestler from Canada that was like super important. I'm gonna check that out when it comes out, but I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, not the point. But you're saying.
Thanks for that, Flobo.
Because I don't want to talk about it if you haven't seen the trailer. I was going to say it was a trailer. It was like one of the first Punjabi wrestlers that were in Canada. G Rama. It was like a big deal, and Bret Hart's in it. And Lance Storm is in it. But if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to be like, well, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go look it up. Then that sounds good. Is it like a? Does it look like it's like documentary style, or is it?
Yeah, it's documentary. It's it's on Canadian TV, but I'm not sure how would you see it. But yeah.
Yo ho. So by the way, Triple H says that sounds like great booking. So
he wants to sink that ship. That's exactly what it do. You should do that.
That's funny. And then you should eliminate all the championships.
Right.
And then put all the titles on someone who's not good.
I love it.
Before we get into the Wrestle Dream preview, Samoa Joe had some comments about potentially retiring, basically saying he thinks he's on his last contract. And I feel like on paper, I look at that and I'm like, well, that makes total sense. He's moving into acting. He's getting older. But it still feels shocking to me to hear. I think because of my age, I still remember him being a young guy. And so it's weird to be like, oh, he's actually old now.
Yeah. I mean, one, you are incredibly old. But I think more importantly is that, I think we said it a couple of weeks ago on the show, is that Joe, like JBL, does not really get top of mind recognition. Like everyone loves Joe and what he did in TNA and even in the NXT stuff, or even in commentary on WWE. But he's kind of like, you'll talk about guys, 10, 15 guys before you get to him. So him being at the end of his career and him also saying, I don't want a farewell tour. I just want to fade off into the sunset. It's kind of like, dang, every time can be a time you see him last. So I get it, man. I tell you, he's a journeyman and he wants to go out the way he wants to, but he'd be missed.
It's there's some kind of poetic about a guy like Samoa Joe not having a big retirement send off and just sort of disappearing, because I obviously don't know the man, but the character Samoa Joe that I've seen on TV for so long, he wouldn't have a big party goodbye. He would just move on to whatever the next fight is going to be. He wouldn't be a celebration guy or whatever. That was never Samoa Joe's style. So there's something kind of poetic about him having a match, going to the back, and then you just never hear from him again. That I love the idea of a goodbye match, but there's I kind of like something like that for him.
But that's the thing though, like, because wrestling fans love obsessing about who does he put over, who does he pass the torch to. Then he doesn't do that. You're kind of like, oh! Like Stone Cold. Do you give that credit to The Rock at WrestleMania 19, or do you give that to Kevin Owens and the Kevin Owens show at WrestleMania 38? I don't know, but no, it is really not a firm answer, because Stone Cold just kind of like stopped working. He was like, I'm done. It's over.
I think this is my hot. That meme where it's like it's like some Pixar movie or whatever. It's the guy with his arms crossed. And there's all the swords around him.
Excuse me, that's very much DreamWorks animation, but continue.
DreamWorks animation, and it's like, what's your opinion? That's got everyone like this.
Yeah,
my opinion is, you shouldn't have to go out on your back if you're a legend. If you've done a lot of stuff in the business, I don't care. I don't care if John Cena wins in the end. I don't care if Samoa Joe wins his last match. I don't care if whoever wins their last match. If they're like, if they've earned it, then yeah, let them go out however they want to go out. I don't like when Cody Rhodes decides to hang it up, let him win. If he wants to win, let him win. I don't think it, like, who has ended a big career where it was like, wow, now that person's a big deal.
That's the point. I'm trying to tell you that last week. I was like, it doesn't matter who retires anybody. I mean, I guess you could say Baron Corbin when he retired an ankle, but that's it.
But that didn't go anywhere. Like,
I mean, he became King Corbin.
I mean, I think if in succession, if you're building someone up, if you're putting away a lot of people, I think it can matter. But like in general, I don't think anyone looks at any one like final match and goes like, oh man, that person is the person now. And
it's not the fact that they win or lose. It's the symbolism that even though they are no longer competing, the art form will continue without them. That's why they lose and do the whole, I tried. Yeah, you're the man, Muda. Woo!
No, I think I want to see the happy
ending. You want confetti and shit?
Yeah, I want the happy ending. Why can't I have a happy ending when someone retires? Why can't I see my hero get one last big win?
They get the happy. They stand up, struggle to defeat. We thank them. They cry and they walk up the ramp.
Nah, I want to see them go out on their feet. I want to see them win. You know, like why do I gotta I don't know why I gotta watch my hero lose in his last match. No, I don't get it. I don't like it. Everyone in the chat, let me know what you think. Everyone in the comments, let me know what you think. Do you think wrestlers have to or should put over someone else in their last match? Again, assuming you're a legend. If you're someone who like maybe had a long career and you're hanging it up, but they weren't necessarily the biggest stars in the world, then I think that, what in the hell, Flobo? What was that? No, I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Well, this is my chance to talk all about the things that I want to talk about. And that is, I'd like to say that Flobo is endorsing everything I'm saying. Still can't hear you. Flobo, but I can read lips. He's saying, I endorse what Jack is saying. I endorse his thoughts. But everybody in the chat, let me know if you think people should have to go out on their shield in the end of their career, or if you think it's okay if they get a big win. I think it's okay if they get a big win. Flobo clearly having some technical issues, so I'm going to round out the show with the Wrestle Dream preview. I'm not going to go match by match because that would just take too long.
That's terrible.
That's terrible that I'm not going to go match by match for the Wrestle Dream preview.
No, it's terrible that I endorse everything you were saying. That's terrible.
You do. So Wrestle Dream this weekend, Flobo. I'm not going to go through every match because we're low on time. What are your thoughts? Triple H says he's saying the ska music is too loud.
Google Chrome counter days. Son of a mother.
I like this Triple H bit here. Wrestle Dream, some big matches coming up here. What are your are you looking forward to anything? Is AEW? I know AEW is not your go-to show right now in pro wrestling.
What do you mean by that, Jack?
I think that if you were to power rank shows, I don't think this would be the top 3.
You know what? I watch it because I want to talk to you in our group chat. So, you know, I want things to talk about. No, you're right. It's not my top. I'm an NXT guy, but hit me.
Yeah.
Hit me.
But that's okay. But is there anything on Wrestle Dream that you're looking forward to? Anything that has stood out to you or jumps out? Obviously, the main event, Adam Page versus Samoa Joe. Yeah.
Well, here are 2 people that have a match that should be for the gold, and that's Jamie Hayter and Tekla, right? Here are people that I thought this time last year or beginning of the year, Jamie Hayter's return, even Tekla being a kind of a spitfire, and even that Megan Bain run from the beginning of the year. I thought one of those three would be next in line to be the superstar for the brand. They're having a singles match. I'm in about that. But look, I'm not going to lie to you, but even inside the framework of AEW, a lot of these things have been done before. So it's a hard pay-per-view to get hyped up for. I feel like Darby Allin and John Moxley have been feuding forever. They might as well just have to the death match and call it a day, you know? And the Hurt Syndicate looked pretty silly this week. So I feel like I'm less excited about this weekend's matchup after what happened at Dynamite. So I don't know.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those shows that I guarantee we're going to look back on and go, oh man, the action was great. Lots of great action in the ring. That I'm looking forward to. I actually kind of disagree. I think that the GOA getting the win this week adds a little bit of interest to that match just because the Hurt Syndicate never lose. But I feel like we've seen them have so many matchups now. A Tornado Trios match also just feels a little bit like, I mean, we watched this. We watched the street fight. We watched the 2-on-2. Now it's another 3-on-3. Like, okay, we've seen it a million times. Thekla, Jamie Hayter, I'm looking forward to. But there are two people who also need to get a win. I don't know. Like it's one of those. I don't know how you have someone lose that without it being a little bit like, oh, that sucks.
It should be Jamie Hayter though.
It should be. Even though I love Thekla, I think she's awesome. She shouldn't be in a group. She's a wild card. I don't believe that she would ever have friends. She seems like she's like a crazy person. You know what I mean?
Wow. So you got Samoa Joe, Welcome to the Sunset by themselves, and Tekla by themselves as well. You sad man.
I love loneliness. Brodito versus Okada and Takeshita. Obviously, I think that's going to be a match the night contender, and I know how it's going to end. It's with Takeshita and Okada having.
You're going to run Brodito to the ground. Is what you're doing.
Fletcher Briscoe. I don't believe in Briscoe here, unfortunately. But I think he could be a big character, but it feels like he comes up short very often. Jurassic Express versus Young Bucks. That'll be kind of fun to see. They always seem to do well. Statlander versus Storm. That'll be fun to see. You don't like it?
Nah.
Why? You're a Tony Storm hater.
No, not necessarily. I like Tony
Storm. Let me jump in. I'm gonna jump in. This is what you are with Tony Storm. You're the person that had a band that they loved and they were great. Oh my God. You're the person you loved Black Eyed Peas and then they added Fergie.
Yeah.
And now they became super popular.
Right.
And now you hate them. And I feel like that's Tony Storm. You liked her. She made a change, became super popular. And now you're like, that's not the person I liked before.
That is true, but her popularity has nothing to do with it. Like, but when she was doing that and still wasn't popular, I still hated it. I don't like the timeless stuff. I use Raquel Rodriguez as an example. I like Lava Cara. I liked her when she's wearing the chaps and the cowboy hat. I liked it when she was big mommy cool. I try to understand the generic smiling Latina, but this whole thing she does now in Judgment Day, I don't particularly care for, but it gets her on TV. So I'm happy I get to see her work. I just don't understand what that's about. But the Chris Statlander thing, I don't really understand this reign of Chris Statlander. I feel like she's good and she won the title in that triple threat match and she's the top of the division, but it doesn't seem like someone's insurmountable. Seems very beatable. You know what I mean?
Well, that makes sense because she was very beatable for a long time and she just won the championship. So I can't argue that. I'm a big Statlander fan. I think that she's one of those people, and you and I have talked about it a little bit, where when you see someone in person and you can kind of see the aura, it suddenly changes your opinion of them on TV. And I saw her at the post Double or Nothing press conference a few years ago, and in person, I was like, oh, wow, this person has an aura. And so I've always been a big Chris Statlander fan for that. I do think that I kind of need to figure out who she is as a character.
She's still an alien? Not anymore.
No,
right?
no. She hasn't been an alien for a little bit, but she's bounced back and forth from being a good guy, a bad guy. I'm with this team. I'm with this team. And like, she flip-flops a lot. And so I think she needs to get that sorted a bit so that I know like who she is instead of just who she's facing. Because she seems like for the past year or so, she's been very much who's my opponent? I will be the antithesis of that. So instead of being her own person, which makes it now hard to your point. Like, well, what is she? What is her title reign?
It does seem like a straw thing. It's like we want Tony Storm to chase. Who? Chris Antlander. Why?
Yeah,
she's cool.
Yeah,
all right.
she is. I think she needs to stick that character so that, kind of like we said about Trick Williams, so that she can be a good guy, bad guy, whatever, but she's that character where now I think she's still trying to figure that out now that she's not the alien anymore. Adam Page, Samoa Joe, I think Page wins that one, but I love it. I love both these guys. I like their promos. I'm into it. And then, like you said, Darby Allin, Jon Moxley feels like it's been going on forever. And it's an I Quit match, which in most cases, I'm not really a big fan of, to be honest.
How do you feel about Wrestle Dream not being in the Pacific Northwest?
I'm okay with it.
All right.
I don't like when shows are in the same spot all the time. It drives me nuts.
But it's Wrestle Dream, though. Wrestle Dream.
The only time I ever really felt like it was okay was when Halloween Havoc was in MGM Grand every year for some reason. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
I don't know why. I can't defend it. I can't give you any reasons why, but I liked it. I was also very young at the time and didn't know any better.
Oh, so that's very impressionable. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that could be it. But I don't like I hate that they do All Out they want to do it in Wembley every year. I hate WrestleMania in Vegas every year. Just hate it. Don't like that. I like they should move around, but I don't really like I Quit matches because I feel like there's just so much time of people grunting, going, "Say it no, say it no." You're just kind of like watching that, and I'm not looking forward to this because I know there's going to be a bunch of just absolutely horrendously disgusting things I'm not going to want to watch.
I can't disagree with you because I think that stipulation is played out, but I feel like your reasoning is so weird. No, boring. I mean, they're being pushed to their breaking point, man.
It's a vocal version of the Last Man Standing where you spend half the match watching guys like 1, 2, I gotta crawl back up. 3.
I'm agreeing with you. I hate them. Remember Breaking Point, the pay-per-view where it was all submission matches? What a dumb idea that was. Sorry, not the point.
No, you're right. Like, I can imagine being one of the agents on that show and being like, great, we got to figure out, I can't remember how many matches there were. Like, we got to figure out 6 different ways to have people tap out on this show.
Right.
That isn't just, I put on a submission and they tap out.
Right. Or snap or whatever.
So yeah, I feel like Darby's got to win that though.
I get it; they're good dance partners, but if these two never fight again, I'll be happy.
I hope this breaks up the entire Death Riders. I hope this ends that entire.
They're here forever, man. They are here forever.
I am over it.
They added members. Come on.
In fact, and this will be the last thing because we got to wrap up. Did you ever watch ECW and Sid Vicious was there?
No.
So
I didn't have cable.
He was only there for a little bit, but basically whenever someone was like mouthing off or doing something in the ring that they weren't supposed to, he would randomly come out and he would just kill everybody. It was actually great because they had Judge Jeff Jones and he would come out and be like, "You're guilty as charged." And then Sid Vicious would come out and kill him. I want Claudio Castagnoli to leave the Death Riders and be that guy for AEW where he's kind of not around. You don't really know what he's doing, but then someone is acting up in the ring, some heel or whatever. And then Claudio's music hits. And it's like, oh, okay, you're going to get beat to a pulp.
Oh man.
Claudio.
Like the Botchamania Send for the Man. Just
yeah.
Send for the Man.
Yeah,
I like it. I like Claudio. Why not?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have, I don't know, like an MJF. He's done 3 weeks of beating someone up or whatever and being just a jerk. And then suddenly Claudio's music hits and they have a banger match, but Claudio beats the tar out of MJF in the process. And then he's gone and he's gone for a little bit. And then that's when you see Kyle Fletcher mouthing off, doing something. And suddenly Claudio's music hits. And it's almost like The Undertaker used to be to a bit, except a little less silly than you're going to go one-on-one with The Undertaker, more of like a,
I miss those days. I miss days when Claudio Cesaro was like a guy just hit you and leave. I like it. Sign me up.
I think that's what he should be doing, and just like coming out, beats the tar out of someone, leaves, and he's kind of like the judge, jury, and executioner for AEW, and no one controls him. He just comes like whenever it's time, like, okay, you've enough of this, time to beat the crap out of you.
You know, was that Rusev's gimmick? You have been redeemed.
But Claudio wouldn't explain it. It would just be his music hits. Like, okay, now it's time for Claudio to.
Fair enough.
It wouldn't be for like redeeming anybody. It would just be, okay, enough of this now.
I like it. Sign me up. We are Darby the worst bookers ever.
You've jumped off of too many things. Time to put an end to this, Darby. Time. And he beats the crap out of Darby, leaves, and then we don't see him for a little bit. And then he comes out and you just never know. So every time his music hits, you go, oh!
I would love that. I would talk about not liking characters and once they move. I would love that to have that aura back.
You get that Claudio's gonna kill you. And then, guy. Triple H says, Jack gets it. That's how I book Lesnar. I mean,
that's how I book Lesnar.
So this was a fun show. We went long. Flobo, thank you so much for being on with me. Any final thoughts, and where can we find you?
Besides the fact that Google Chrome turned heel on me in the middle of the show, this is always a good time. DrapedInGold.com, and of course, justasandwich.com. It's my blog. Hanging out with Jack, man, is always a pleasure. He doesn't leave me, because I know you travel all the time, but when you're here, we're like peanut butter and jelly.
We absolutely are. We just need some bread, but
no meat, no water, just bread.
Just peanut butter and jelly.
Oh yeah, man.
Booker T going from being the worst commentator to the best commentator without actually changing anything he does is the craziest thing in the world to me.
You know what? I got to give him all the credit in the world because I was like, he's the worst. Now I'm like, hey, Book, what do you think about this?
Well, you can find me at Real Jack Farmer across all social media to keep up with what I'm working on. I'm going to be doing ring announcing for Championship Wrestling on the 21st in Irvine. So if you're in Southern California, come through. Otherwise, check your local listings. I'm also going to be ring announcing for Night of the Human Death Match for Santino Brothers on Halloween. You can stream that live on Triller. It's going to be gory and disgusting, and I'm going to have to be in the middle of it all. But
wait, are you getting like a bloodbath, like the old school Brood things?
No, I'm just going to have to watch people get thumbtacks in their back and stuff like that.
Oh, that's fine. You being queasy is hilarious. I love
death matches.
And their broken bone match.
I would be, it's time for the
it's Claudio's music. No. Oh my gosh.
European uppercut scene. That does it for us, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next week. Tell all your friends about it because we would love to have more people watching. Flobo, any final words before I hit this end stream button?
I got nothing.